that finished in verse 10. Now picking up in verse 11, what's special about 11? 11 is the fifth prime. So there's lots of... And then he tells the story of the prodigal son. A certain man had two sons. Father, give me the portions of it. So he divided them to his livelihood, and many of the younger son gathered. Oh, he's in there and wasting on the prodigal living. I want to get to the found part. When he had spent all his fives, there arose a severe famine in that land, and he began to be in want. Then he went and joined himself to a citizen and feed his swine. He would be glad to know the cause of his swine, no one had given anything. But when he came to himself, he said, how many of my father's hired servants have bread enough? Bread is pure joy, triple fives, enough and to spare. Spare parallels joy, and I perish with hunger. I will arise and go to my father. Oh, this is a big word from the Lord. Find joy in Father. Yep, just pop off the H. The rest is joy. And that TE equals the Y. And then the J parallels the A, and it's very nice. Okay, find joy in Father. And will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you, and I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants. And he arose and came to his father. Verse 20, which divides by 5. But when he was still... I love that word when, because when equals joy. But when he was still a great way off. Here's the moment now. His father, okay, so this is good. So Father, we found joy in Father. His father, as in God, his father saw. Okay, so this is critical. The joy of finding is connected, of course, to the eyes. And we know that I, the word I, is 5, 25, 5. Joy. So there is joy in your eyes. There is joy in looking into human eyes. When a baby locks onto you and stares into your eyes, it's joy, okay? So I, the word I, is maximum for joy. E-Y-E, okay? So all of these parables about finding, the moment of glory is literally when the eyesight happens. You know, the father sees the lost son. The woman sees the lost coin, okay? The man sees the lost sheep. It's a moment of sight, the joy in the eye, okay? And the word pupil parallels joy. Pupil equals Jesus. Black, you know, parallels joy, and whole, you know, divides by 5 if you want. It's the whole, and we can talk about the word lens parallels joy, and there's a host of words that all do the same thing related to eye anatomy, okay? Lens equals joy. Through the lens, okay? How do you, this is a big discussion all its own. People say, how do you view the world? Do you see the joy of God in everything? Lens equals joy. That's huge, okay? Okay, so, and this is all happening in Luke 15, verse 20. Both numbers divide by 5, 15 and 20. This is the moment of finding. This is the moment of climax, okay? This is the moment of ecstasy, if you will, emotionally. I can't resist pulling out other words like climax, and yeah, climax parallels joy. Lens equals joy. I love that. Okay, so let's read. And he arose and came to his father, but when he was still a great way off, his father saw him. Okay, and now the word see, this word see parallels joy. We talk about that. His father saw him. Okay, saw him and had compassion. Man, I can't, man, now I gotta check all this stuff. We gotta find joy and compassion. But these are such obvious. Had compassion. You know, I do a lot of Gematria discoveries and scientific discoveries, but it's like, you know, the discovery of lost people and bringing them home. That's okay. Saw him and had compassion and ran. Okay, we know the word run parallels joy. So isn't interesting the present tense of those words, like see and run. The word see and run both parallel joy. His father saw him and had compassion and ran, and fell. Okay, that's interesting. Fell equals 35, divides by 5, and fell on his neck. Neck is 33, okay. And fell on his neck and kissed him. Now I know that kiss equals father. And the son said, Father, I have sinned against heaven and your sight, and I am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, servants equals double father. And it's glaring because you get the word, or no, sorry, holy father. And the father said to his servants, you can find joy in servants, just like in employees, tons of fives. But the father said to his servants, bring. Isn't that amazing? This is tear-jerking once you know the math on it all. This is so mind-blowing how Jesus is the king of words, the king of math, the king of history. The first word, what is the first word mathematically that comes out of the Father's mouth? Joy. Because bring equals joy. This is hyper-intelligence. This is a script that only God can write, and it is God, okay? Jesus is God, God is, okay. But the Father said to his servants, bring, which equals 50, which equals joy, okay? So the first word out of the Father's mouth is joy, mathematically. Bring out the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and sandals on his feet, and bring joy, the fatted calf, here, and kill it, and let us eat, which parallels joy, and be merry. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And the very last word is so screaming out fives it'll make you cry. Okay. We had to go here. This is literally like the crown jewel of the words of Jesus on the joy of finding. Luke chapter 15. Okay. And I'm about to run out of memory chip, so we're gonna switch to a new one here. By the way, the word chips equals 55. God made me have two, so we can do this. Watch out. Here we go.